Okay, welcome back to the class. We're going to continue with the next thing after the triangular arbitrage, which is doing a triangular arbitrage, but not with bid and ask. But before we do that, we need to be sure that we understand what is bid and ask. So today's this video is about bid and ask. And what is bid and ask? Well, if you take a look at real life, no one is going to sell a currency at the same price. Why is this? Because we have a different price if we want to buy the currency, and we'll have a different price if we want to sell that currency. So this is what bid and ask is about. In Spanish, we call it compra and venta, and also in English, we also call it the buy or sell price. So before we even start doing any exercise, let's make it clear, what does this mean? So the first rule that I'm going to tell you, or the first thing that you really need to know, is that the ask price is always the most expensive one. So for instance, let's assume that the ask for the dollar in terms of pesos is 20 pesos per dollar, and the bid will be 19 pesos per dollar. So what does this mean? First, we already said that this is about buying and selling currencies, right? So what is the bank selling? Well, the thing is that the bank is selling the currency at the bottom, in this case, the dollar. So the bank is selling dollars at 20 pesos or buying dollars at 19. So we call this also, I will write in here, buy or compra, or sell in here, or venta. So as you can see, the perspective of who's selling or who's buying is from the bank. And what are they selling or buying? Well, they are selling dollars, or they are buying dollars at these prices. Of course, they will sell at a more expensive price than the price that they buy. That's actually the profit from the bank, the spread between the bid and the ask. If you are confused at this point, don't worry, it's okay. It's normal. Let's put it into practice and maybe it will get clearer. So let's do one exercise. If you have 100 pesos and you want to buy dollars, which exchange rate are you going to use, 20 or 19? Let's think about it. I have pesos and I need dollars. So I need to use 20 because 20 is the exchange rate that the bank is going to use to sell dollars, right? So I will use 20. And the next question is divide or multiply. Do you remember from the last video? If we have the same currency on the top, we need to divide. So it will give us 5. So this is one example on which you are going to apply bid and ask. And I will give you a tip that this might be very useful for you. In this example, when you have 100 pesos and you want to buy dollars, which is the currency that you need? Dollars, right? That's the currency that you are going to buy. So the rule is, if you need the currency at the bottom, in this case, dollars. So if you need bottom, you are going to use ask. If you are going, in this case, we use ask because we needed the dollars. But what is the opposite? If we need the currency on the top means pesos, right? So if you need the currency on the top, you are going to use bid. This is a very useful tip because then you can just kind of remember this trick and use it all the time. So let's change the perspective of the problem. Now let's assume that you have $10 and you want to buy pesos. So which is the currency that you need? The one on the top, right? Because you have dollars and you need pesos. If you need the one on the top, you use bid. Also, if you have, that's one way to look at it. But the other way to look at it is, I have dollars and the bank is buying dollars at the price of 19. So it's the same. 19. And divide or multiply, that will be the next question. So if we analyze it as a fraction, we have dollars on top and dollars at the bottom. That means multiply. You multiply this and you get 190 pesos. So this is a quite short video because it's not that difficult, but be sure that you really understand how it works. Also, I have seen at least, I don't know, 12 different ways to understand this thing. Like maybe this thing with bottom and top is probably the most popular one among students. And this other thing, when you understand why is buy and why is sell and what are they buying or selling, is the second most popular. But I have literally seen like 12 different ways to understand this thing. I have seen some people that what they do is that they visualize that they are outside of the bank and then they see these two prices and then they use that to choose the correct one. So don't worry, whatever you do, you should be fine, but make sure that you understand the difference between bid and ask. Okay, so the next video is going to be about the triangular arbitrage, but using bid and ask. It's going to be a little bit longer, but it's going to be okay. So I'll see you in the next video.